Brad, thank you so much for the time. How you doing today?
I'm getting bored seeing your face. We talked right before we started recording, and yeah, this is the third time we've been interviewed. It's almost like it's the third date, so one of us has to put out at some point.
Hey, we're banging after this one, Brad. That's how the rule goes, right?
Darn right. I don't know. I've been out of the game so long. I don't know what the kids are doing nowadays. Is it first date? When do you start introducing the thruple? Is that fifth date, sixth date? I don't know how things are going.
You're giving way too much credit to young people in modern times, Brad. They're not even meeting face to face anymore. They have dates online, and if things go well after three different conversations, then they're doing it with their sex robot, I think.
Got it. See, that's why people are like, kids these days is what they're gonna learn. I go, I got a 5-year old. By the time she gets to dating age, all the people might just be banging their avatars. Like I don't know. It may not even be something that I have to worry about.
Let
Fingers
me ask
crossed.
you. Let me ask you this because I love to hear you talk in other conversations about just the relationship that you have with your 5-year old. I've got a couple of kids myself, 10 and 8, and I feel like one of my biggest goals, one of the things that I need to try harder to do than anything else, is to teach them how to be these present little humans. It's not to say that they are completely denied modern technology. That would be foolish as well. But they
Sure.
can't be so locked in on that they don't enjoy if they're at like a park or something or at the swimming pool during the summertime when it's warm enough to take a dip in that cold water. Five is a little bit different because they're not as exposed to that stuff just yet. But are you seeing that around you with other kids her age that are
Yeah. There's
already way too locked in on the tech?
Yeah, I mean, we try not to be the guy in or the family that just has the 5-year old locked into an iPad. Normally, when we go out to dinner, yes, there is no tech, there is no phone, there is no iPad. We have a no phones at dinner rule, so she doesn't see us just like eating while constantly scrolling. So we're trying to balance it out. The thing that you worry about is like because we have our certain rules and that's fine. It's just what are the other houses doing? So now when you go over, because now we're starting the age where you start interacting way more with other kids and you have play dates and stuff. So when the other kid busts out their iPad and starts playing on a play date, and she's like, "Well, what are we doing here?" Now she comes back to, "Oh, we should have I should have an iPad with me at all times, or a phone, or whatever." Like my general rule is like no phone until you're driving a car. But now it's like that was before Uber. Now it's like, oh, you need a phone to have Uber, like or Lyft or whatever. And by the time she gets to be 15, it may just be all Waymo, where you're just calling a car that has that. Have you pulled up next to one of these cars that doesn't have a driver in it?
Brad, oh, you're in for a treat because Austin is apparently ground zero for this. Not only I've gotten into a physical altercation with one of these driverless vehicles. So apparently I have made my stance known in the impending war between man and machine.
Wait, how do you get into a physical altercation with a car that does not have a driver? Were you like beating on the hood? Like what were you doing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So
Ah,
I was with a friend and parallel parking is all around downtown Austin. As you know, you've been here countless times over the years.
yep.
So we stopped to back into this spot. It was a really good spot near 6th Street. I think we were going to the Comedy Mothership or something to see a show. And so we stopped in this Waymo. It pulls up behind us, except even though the reverse lights are on, it went right up until it was like a foot away from us. So there's no way we could back into this spot. We
Mm,
also weren't going to drive around the block a couple more or another time to try and get back to the spot. So we just waited there, hoping that the sensors would kick in to where then it backs up. It never happened though. It just stayed there. It was like this game of parking spot chicken, even though the Waymo vehicle didn't want the parking spot. So eventually I get out of the car. There's nobody in the car. I don't know what to do. I'm like waving at the camera, like, hey, back the car
yeah,
up. We're trying to get into the spot, pounding on the car, pounding
yeah.
on the glass. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm losing my mind. So we ultimately did have to drive off and find a different parking spot.
I'm just think you've seen the movie Terminator 1. I just feel like the speech that Reese is given, like, it does not feel, it does not negotiate.
And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
The Waymo car will just stay there the entire time. Like, oh, you want to play a game of chicken? I don't age, bro. So like, yeah, I can see how that would be very frustrating. And there's all these videos of like the Waymos like getting stuck in roundabouts because it's not quite sure how to get out. It's almost like every Waymo car needs like the automated voice command. Like when you're when you're talking to an operator, and then all of a sudden you get lost, and you just have to scream out representative, and then like you actually get a human person. That's what every Waymo car should have. It's like when the car gets to a certain point, you just hit a button on the hood or like you pound on it, and then all of a sudden the screen pops up with someone in Bangladesh going, well, how can I help you? Like,
I think this is actually genius. They do need something like that to have the humans help direct this technology that is still very much in its infancy because it clearly doesn't know everything. As a matter of fact, now that you say that, I got behind a driverless vehicle in downtown the other day, and for whatever reason, it was a green light. It wasn't going when the light turned green, and there were like several cars behind me, so I honked. I'm like, duh. Then did the longer honk, dad, and I'm like,
yeah.
what am I doing? This isn't affecting this thing. Like,
It does not
giving the aggressive
feel.
honk does
It
nothing.
does not negotiate. Like because you can't be with with a Waymo and do because we've all acknowledged. Hey, we get it. Sometimes you get locked in your phone. You got to answer an email. You got to do something, and the light turns green. You miss it. We all acknowledge. Hey, you give a little beep beep, like just a little that, which is not an fu honk. It's just a hey, pay attention. That's all it is, and it's not threatening. And we've all acknowledged that as human beings, but the Waymo cars, they don't understand. And it's so yes, I'm a 40-year-old rallying against technology. It's making my life better, but also kids these days, get off my lawn.
Well, there's also the human element to that scenario where you do give the courtesy honk, and it is a courtesy honk. You're not
Yeah.
doing it aggressively yet,
Nope.
but you do it because the person is staring down at their phone for 5 seconds after the light turns green, and their
Yep.
response is to not give the little courtesy wave out the back window, like, oh, my bad, I'll get going now. The response is sometimes the middle finger. It's like, are you really doubling down on your stupidity with more stupidity, basically being braggadocious about how incompetent and clueless you are behind the wheel right now? Please don't go 70 miles per hour while you're trying to answer emails, person in front of me.
Yeah, we've gotten to a place, and this won't become a political conversation, but due to if you look at both political sides, really, they're kind of guiding us with this: never admit you're wrong, even when you're wrong, even when they catch you, even when they have evidence of catching you, never back down. And whether it be that, whether it be anyone getting caught doing something, canceled, whatever terminology you want to use, like that's the new way of the world, is you never back down. So when you give a little beep beep, which is just hey, look up, green light, you take that as an act of war, and you say, fuck you, I was not looking at my phone, I was doing so, I was donating to charity, right, just at that exact moment. So that is, I think, a dangerous thing. And I would tell you, as someone who's been married for 7 years with my wife for 10, I admit I'm wrong all the time. All the time, even when I am wrong, or even when I'm not wrong, even when I'm definitely right, I will see. That's like the verbal tick, right? Right, where I just say, "Well, I couldn't have been right," so yeah, just admit I'm wrong. Even when I am right, I just go, "Yeah, you're right, honey. We're good," and then we move on to the point now where sometimes my wife comes in and you can tell she's planned the fight. She has planned the fight. She has planned every which way to go. She has me covered on all sides. She knows that if I zig, how she's gonna zag. And then she comes in and goes, "You blankety blank," and I just go, "Yeah, you're right, totally right, honey." And now she's almost upset there's not a fight because she's planned this out. So she's like, "No, attack me." I'm like, "No, no point." It's like, why? It's doing that move and connect four where it's like, if you go there, I got you there. If you go there, I got you there. And the person just goes, "No, I refuse to end the game."
You and I are living parallel lives at times because sometimes you'll bring something up. It's like, well, what about this? And it's like, well, how dare you bring that? It's like, whoa, hold on. We're having a
Mhm.
conversation right now. I know that you're looking to pick something here, but
Yep.
yeah, the
Yep.
best way out is to just apologize and try and move on. By the way, it's also very healthy to apologize to your kids when you screw up because none of us are perfect as parents. Hell, I'm far from perfect as a parent. I love my
Yeah.
kids, but I screw up sometimes. And them hearing from me that I'm not perfect and apologizing for it and taking that ownership will help them out as they're going through life and making mistakes and learning and holding themselves accountable versus that this newfound idea. It's not even newfound, it's been around for human history, but this thing that gets
Yeah.
more popular, as you just mentioned, where it's like people unwilling to admit when they're wrong, just fostering more animosity between the two proverbial sides, right?
Exactly. I actually apologized to my daughter last week, a 5-year-old, because she bit me, and I don't know if you had that with your kids, but
Oh, yeah.
there I was laughing because I found out that there's a song on YouTube by, I don't know, one of these Yo Gabba Gabba groups or something, and it's called "Don't Bite Your Friends." And she doesn't bite, like she's not like a thing that she does, but she bit me while we were playing or doing something, and I screamed at her like really aggressively because it freaking hurt. And then I had to like stop and be like, "Hey, Daddy didn't mean that. Daddy was really upset, and I'm sorry that I screamed at you, but you hurt Daddy's body when you bit him." And like, but you just have that initial moment, but she was okay, and she was a minute later she was back to being her normal self. But yeah, there is that mentality now of you absolutely have to never apologize, and I'm seeing it sometimes in my shows where you'll have a heckler yell out and then slam them back or something, and then they'll just keep coming at me, and it's like, no, 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 we're done here, like this is done. You yelled something, I checkmate, and now we're good. Now you could sit back, relax, enjoy the show. No one's going to care. But no, you have some people that have to double and triple down. I had one on a cruise ship recently, and we had to throw the person out. Granted, it's a cruise ship, so their level of intoxication was even far beyond Sixth Street in Austin. But yeah, like there was no negotiating with this terrorist. You had to just go to the full nuclear option fast.
Well, it's legitimately one of my biggest pet peeves in going to stand-up shows now because clips of crowd work have been great for comics and
Yes,
put them on the map.
yes.
But it's also brought a new type of client to the comedy club who thinks it's an interactive show. And the reality is it's not. It's only interactive when the comic wants to make it interactive. So, for instance, I went and saw Ian Edwards headline
Love Ian.
at a club. Yeah, he's the best. He
So
is the
good.
best. So I saw him headline at a club, and there were several people in the audience that from the opener through the feature through Ian just felt the need to give their commentary. It's like, dude, shut the hell up. All the comics did a good job of disarming the situations, but it wasn't shutting them up. And it may have been a little bit alcohol fuel, but I feel like it's just this false sense of this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself in a comedy club. It's so annoying.
I get it, and you touched upon it, and it's something that a lot of comics talk about. Yes, comedians, we kind of, in a weird way, law of unintended consequences, have done this to ourselves. Because yes, we did put out all the crowd work clips because we don't want to burn material, but we want to keep putting content out there. So we keep putting out crowd work clips, and then people go, "Oh, like we forget that not everyone has been to a comedy club, like certainly not as many times as we have as comedians, and not even as many times as you have as a patron. You're a great comedy fan, and you kind of get it. You know the deal. Many people, I get this at my shows all the time where people come up and go, "This is the first comedy show I've ever been to," and they're in their 40s, 50s, or later. And so we forget, oh, people don't know what the rules are. So then they see crowd work clips on their phones all the time. They're like, "Oh, that's the thing. We yell out, they yell out back." It's like, no, that is not the thing. I've worked really hard on these jokes. I believe they are very well written. I get that it's sort of part of the gig that it's going to happen, but to me, when you tell a comedian, hecklers, it's just part of your job. Learn how to deal with it. That's like going up to a masseuse and being like, "Hey, every now and then someone's going to expect you to jerk them off." Like, it's not part of the it's part of the gig, but it shouldn't be. It should not be part of the gig. It should, because I don't get that in other forms of live performance. You're not seeing Bill Burr on Glenn Ross on Broadway, and then people start heckling him there. Like, it's not, So I don't get why it happens with comedy, but it's something that comedians just kind of have to deal with now.
You just brought up the masseuse example, which made me think about Robert Kraft. I'm not necessarily going to ask you a Patriots question, Brad, but I do always love talking football with you.
Let's
You're a
go.
big Denver Broncos fan, man. You guys have had an awesome off season so far. A+s across the board from those who judge how teams off season has gone. You get Evan Ingram at tight end, pick
Yep.
up a couple of big time dudes from the 49ers on the defensive side of the ball.
Thank you, San Francisco. I've been texting with Dan Soder. Soder's a big time 49ers fan,
Yep.
and I text them like, "Hey, give me the scouting report on these guys," and he just texts back like sad face emojis because I'm like, I love that guy so much, and like that. And now they're in the Broncos. I'm stoked, man. The NFL season is never done, and this time, you talk about me being a Broncos fan. I'm really lucky because there's not that many celebrities that are Broncos fans right now, like at least publicly, like maybe privately, but no one's kind of out there with their fandom, except for like me and Angela from The Office. So they invited me to the draft, so I'm gonna be at the NFL draft as a guest of the Denver Broncos.
What? Do you get to actually give a pick out on stage?
So, I would not tell you that even if I did, but it was discussed. And the problem is that they usually don't do that for the first rounds or the second rounds. They wait till the fourth round or later rounds to do those kind of picks where someone else offers the pick, because Roger Goodell's not staying there for 4 days. Yeah, he only gets paid $72 million a year. We can't expect him to be in Green Bay for 4 days. So yeah, there was talk, but I can't be there for the later rounds. I have a show in Las Vegas. So, but that is something that will be discussed in the future. And if that is the case, oh my God, if you're a Raider fan, Charger fan, or Chiefs fan, you'll have to cover your ears, because I'm gonna roast that division, my friend.
Which is the biggest rival of those three teams for the Broncos?
Oh, I would say the easy answer is the Chiefs right now because they're good.
Yeah.
But historically, always been the Raiders. Always been the Raiders. If you said, hey, the Broncos will win 2 games next year, but you get to choose any of the 2 games, it'd be like, oh, beat the Raiders. That's just a no-brainer. So yeah, it's like, while you may have a rivalry with the Chargers when it was like LaDainian Tomlinson or the Chiefs currently because they're good, for the most part, it's just always the Raiders.
So you're in a sort of quarterback paradise right now with Bo Nix. What a great pick by Sean.
Yeah.
Payton. Killed it in year 1. And you would expect a guy who has played that much college ball to hit the ground running a little bit more than a guy who maybe started for a year or 2 and now is trying to adapt to the NFL level. But
hey, man, but we've proven one thing about quarterbacks in the last year, whether it be Bo Nix, that stayed in college so long he could have had a doctorate degree, or Jaden Daniels, who before he came out had like, I think 10 starts or like 10 to 12 starts, somewhere in there. Like, and then dude just came to the NFL and lit it up. And now if you're a Commanders fan, you're stoked, which I'm actually really happy about. I mean, I know we're in Austin, so there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans that are adjacent. But
yeah, fuck them, Brad. Fuck
them. Yeah. But like, I'm looking at it like, dude, the Commanders suffered for so long, and the one thing I love about what happens with the Commanders is that Dan Snyder knows it was him. It was him the whole time. The first year he's gone, boom, playoffs, boom, superstar quarterback, boom, free agents are signing there, like the first year. So fuck you, Dan Snyder. Worst owner in sports until he sold the team. He's right up there with Donald Sterling. So yeah, I'm happy for the Commanders fans that they also got this insane rookie quarterback. And now because we're all such knowledgeable football fans, now like every Joe Schmo on the street is like, you got a quarterback on his rookie deal. You have like 4 years to make this happen. And so yeah, that's where the Broncos are. That's where the Commanders are right now.
So your former quarterback, Russell Wilson, is now a member of the New York Giants. Did you see what he said at his introductory press conference the other day?
I hope he stole my joke and said that it's kind of ironic that a 5'10" quarterback would be on the Giants. I hope he stole my joke. Did he steal my joke?
No, that I would be celebrating him if he did that. He said that he is coming in expecting to be the starting quarterback of the team. Now, look, they signed Jameis Winston earlier in the offseason. Russell Wilson does have a Super Bowl title, I guess, but it's not like he's that quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks. He was okay at times with Pittsburgh last year, but for that guy to be operating with any sort of entitlement in this league, I don't know how he's long for this league if that's the attitude he has going into this situation.
Well, the thing is knowing the few pro athletes that I know, and you never sign on thinking you're not the guy. But at the same time, the Giants might be the most entertaining. Like, if they can do a Hard Knocks, but just on the Giants quarterback room, I don't care about the rest of the team. You have Jameis Winston, who is a soundbite machine, and you have Russell Wilson, who I have this game that I play with Russell Wilson. Read every one of his tweets as if he's giving you advice while you're taking a dump, because every one of his tweets, while being very, like, a lot of times inspiring and religious, also works to give you advice if you're taking a dump. Like, it's just like, stay with it, be fierce, own the day. And I just laugh every time I read his tweets, because I just picture myself like, all right, he's coaching me through this. So you have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and then people forget you still have Tommy Cutlets, you still have Tommy DeVito, and I hope his agent gets invited into the quarterback room as well, the guy that looks like a mob boss. So yeah, I want a Hard Knocks 24/7 camera in that quarterback room more than any other quarterback room in the league.
Okay, we're going to test this theory out now. I've got Russell Wilson's Twitter account pulled up.
The ones that are like logistics, like, so happy to be with the Giants, we signed those don't count. Go for the other types.
Oh yeah. We're on the same page here. All right, first one. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Keep going.
Yes, see what I mean? Every tweet is advice if you're taking a crap.
Thankful for breath and life this AM.
Yes.
Relentless confidence.
Relentless confidence. You see what I'm talking about? It's so good. It's so good. I don't know if he like saw that. Maybe I think Russell Wilson was like a big fan of Snapple growing up, like those Snapple facts under the cap, and he's like, well, they're not there anymore, so I'm gonna take up this cause, and now he is, and it's so perfect.
Yeah, he's probably one of those guys who takes the fortune cookie bit too much to heart versus adding in bed to the end of all those statements, right?
He's never done it. I guarantee you, Russell Wilson looks like a guy who's never added in bed at the end of a fortune cookie. That's perfect.
Unquestionably. You actually have one of my all-time favorite tweets, which happened just after OJ died last year. I'm not, please remind me what that was, because I'm not recalling it off the top of my head.
Okay. I remember it. OJ Simpson died today, and while no matter how you feel about him, we can all agree he's resting easy knowing his wife's killer is dead. And that was, so you're actually talking about one of my most successful, not just tweets, but then videos on Instagram, because then I tweeted that literally, I posted the timestamp minutes after it was announced that he had passed away. And then you started seeing it all on other things on the internet. A lot of people, I don't know if they stole it from me. I don't like to be that guy that thinks I'm the main character in every movie. So it's like they could think of it. It's not hard to come up with that joke. But I did it, and then people started stealing it, putting it on memes and stuff. And then I did a video that night of me on stage talking about it, and I said people were stealing from me, and no one's catching them. All the people that stole this joke from me will not be brought to justice, which is a fitting tribute to O.J. Simpson.
Did you keep telling some version of that joke in your act for a couple weeks or maybe a couple
Yeah,
months afterwards? Yeah.
about a week or two. Sometimes those are fun. Sometimes the pop culture jokes, in terms of what happens, you could start doing stuff. But like I was telling some Will Smith slap jokes for a while,
Okay.
but then it's like you don't want to be the guy, you don't want to be the comedian where because you see this not so much in LA because the competition is so great, but if you like ever go on a cruise and there's a cruise ship comic, you'll see some guy going, "Let me do my Bill Clinton jokes," and it's like he just hasn't rewritten stuff in 25 years. So I don't want to be that guy, but for fun stuff like that, yeah, I'll tell the joke for a week or two and just see kind of get some life out of it. Maybe it'll spawn something else.
As you should. It was brilliant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And you know what? Like people ask me, like, how often do you turn over material? I as fast as I can because I've got ADD. I don't want to be telling the same jokes for years. I don't want and I know I'm doing venues now, like when I'm doing the theater there in Austin, which we're already pretty much sold out on the bottom and the mid level. So there's just the top level left. I know people saw me last year, and I want them to have different stuff. So I'm always trying to get different stuff. If you're going to spend some hard-earned money and buy a ticket to see me, I do not want you to see the same material that you saw a year or 2 years before.
Yeah, and let me just say, because I've seen comedy shows from every vantage point at the Paramount.
Yeah.
The top level is actually a better place to be than the back of the bottom level. Like I saw Sam
Yes.
Morril in the back of the bottom level a couple of years ago, and it was the intimacy was kind of lost there. But for whatever reason, when you're up high, you're still kind of on top of the comedian. So
Yeah.
great spot
I
to watch a comedy show. And so you just said this.
yeah.
People can actually go to YouTube now to watch your latest special, Starfish. They can watch it for free. So it's all new material that you're
Yep.
going to be performing at the Paramount on
Yep.
April 15th.
Yep. And that and thank you for those who have watched Starfish. It's over 5 million views in a year. So but I was the last time I was in Austin, I was just getting ready to put that out. So yeah, it's gonna be all new material. And I'm excited. Like it's weird as a comedian, you're always kind of like prisoner of the moment, but you always think your newest hour is your best hour. And that's where I am right now, where I'm just like, oh yeah, like Starfish, I loved it. I loved that hour and I had a lot of fun with that hour. But now I'm like playing with the new one and it I like it too because everyone's different. I always like to like do new stuff and my material is very autobiographical, so it's always like, all right, well, what stage of my life am I in right now? Right now, I don't know. I guess my stage is the neighborhood dad stage, which not sure if that's good or bad. There's a couple of dad jokes in there, but there's a lot of stories about just like what it's like being what it's like living right now as a married guy and a dad, and you know if people liked my stuff when I was in my 20s and single, it's changed, it's evolved, but I think that's a good thing. I don't want to be telling the same jokes that I was telling when I was 25 years old. It's a different perspective. Hopefully you grow, hopefully you mature, and hopefully you have a different way of looking at life.
Well, you're evolving with your audience too. I heard a couple of comedians talking about this the other day, and it's like you don't necessarily there are very few comics who can get away with staying single their entire lives and not going down the family path in some sense. Like there's always the
Yeah.
Dave Attels of the world, and there are other examples out there too. But most comics are living some sort of quasi parallel existence with those who liked them back when they were single in their 20s, you know?
Yeah. So people identify you with whatever their current, status is. Like there's a reason why when I was in college, like pretty much every college kid was loving Dane Cook because of what he was talking about and and how that related to the college life. And it just kind of fit well. But then with Dane, you saw it too, where evolves. He gets into different stuff. And most successful comics that have had a prolonged career, obviously you threw out the outlier, which is Dave Attell, because he's just, been a single guy for his whole life. But then at the same time, the guy's just so brilliant, it surpasses everything. But most successful comics evolve. They evolve, they change, their perspectives grow. Hopefully they get better. That's the other thing. Hopefully I'm a better comedian now than I was, at age 28, whatever I think I am. But I kind of look at it. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I kind of look at it like pro wrestlers. You don't see one guy do the same gimmick for his entire long career. If you want to stay relevant, you have to change. You have to evolve. We just saw John Cena go heel. You got to change. So I'm happy to be constantly evolving. I'm happy to be changing, and I'm really happy with where my act is right now, and really happy to share it with the good people of Austin in a few weeks.
Yeah, John Cena all of a sudden punching kids with cancer out is a hell of a term, Brad. So it sounds like you're feeling pretty good about the current set. Do you have a plan in place to get this down on film now and get it out to the people as well?
Yeah. There's a plan in place. It's in motion. You'll be hearing about it as you will, but when I announce. But I'm stoked, man. Between the tour and then just found out that the new Spinal Tap movie is going to be out in September, I believe. So yeah, I'm excited that I finally have a date on that. I learned when it was going to be released the same day the world did when they showed the teaser preview. For those of you who don't know, I'm in the movie, so I'm really excited about it. I can't tell you what part I play, but if you know Spinal Tap, the original, not hard to figure out. You can kind of put two and two together with that. And I'm in the movie with Wee Man from Jackass, and I'm stoked because people are going to finally realize we're not the same fucking person. So I'm very happy.
Are you sharing the screen with anybody else in your scene or scenes?
I am. I can't say. I mean, I could kind of say who just so I can tell this story because I love telling this story.
Okay.
So with a movie like Spinal Tap 2, you can imagine there's going to be a lot of rock star cameos because everyone was a fan of the first one. And this is not breaking news. They've announced this. But there is a Sir Paul McCartney in this movie. There is a Sir Elton John. There is a Dave Grohl. There is a Garth Brooks and a few others. So there is a scene with Elton John that I am involved in. And we were doing the scene, and there's a live audience for the scene. And the live audience are they're paid actors, but they're extras. It's a lot of hey, you go out and you say, hey, who wants to be in a movie? And then people sign up and you get a couple of bucks at the end of the day. So for the most part, they're fans. They're not trained thespians. And Elton John is doing his thing, and people start yelling out Elton John, it's in between takes, and they're like, Elton John, and he kind of waves and acknowledges them. Then some people see Wee Man, and then they go Wee Man, and then he waves and acknowledges them. And then it's silent again, and some guy just yells out, Brad Williams, I fucking love you. And then more people start yelling out, Brad Williams. And then I wave, and the place goes nuts. And Elton John just turns around, looks at me, and goes, who the fuck are you? And that's gonna be on my tombstone. Here lies Brad Williams. Who the fuck are you? Yeah, that was great. And that was the first words that Elton spoke to me the entire time. I'm pretty sure the last too.
Well, you know what? That's totally fine. That's a good one sentence to ever have spoken to you by Elton John. So I heard you mention in other interviews that the only thing that you regret about when you die is that you're not going to be around that next day for all the jokes that are going to be made online about your death.
Yes.
You said it doesn't matter the situation.
Doesn't matter.
People will find a way to have some fun with your death. So I want to challenge you with that right now, with your own death. Are you okay with this? Just a couple of scenarios? Okay.
Yeah.
Be a good way for us to end. Brad Williams died yesterday of AIDS.
Was it a small infection? Come on, man.
Brad Williams died yesterday after he was hit by a train.
What toy train was it? What type of toy train was it? Was what was he tied to the tracks with dental floss? I mean, come on, man. This is fun though. I like this. This is a good improv game.
Brad Williams died yesterday hiking in the Rocky Mountains just outside of Denver, Colorado, when he was attacked by a pack of wolves.
Oh, I mean, they were the pups. I mean, you could do that. You could do was it the Rocky Mountains or was it just an anthill? You could do that. You could you could have you could have a lot. He froze up there. He became a dwarfsicle. You could have some fun with that. Like I said, I don't fear death. I've lived a good life. I've had a lot of fun. I've done a lot of cool things. I just regret that I'm not going to be around next day to read the jokes because, man, they're going to be good.
Last one. Brad Williams died yesterday. Elton John is currently being questioned for his murder.
This finally answers the question: can a dwarf be a power bottom? So, there you go.
Oh, there he is, the fucking hilarious Brad Williams. He's going to be part of this year's Moontower Comedy Festival. He is pretty much every year. So the headline show at the Paramount is Tuesday, April 15th at 7.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday, which I love because then, like, it's not the heart of the festival where you're like, oh, what if I go see Brad Williams and I can't go see like Dr. Phil live or whatever other comedians? I can't go see the Sklar brothers. I can't, it's like, no, you want to be able to see everything so you can see me. I'm pretty much a solo show on a Tuesday. Nothing else really going on that night. So, and it's not Monday, so it's not going to be packed at the mothership for Kill Tony, so you won't be missing that one. So yeah, we're good, man. Yeah, come on out on a Tuesday to the Paramount. Great venue. Just a few tickets left, but I'm really looking forward to this one.
Also taking part and Surrounded at the Velveeta Room, which is one of the classic comedy institutions in Austin, on Wednesday. Are you doing the goddamn comedy jam this year, and then also the event at the Butler Pitch and Putt too?
I can't because I have to tour. Wednesday I'm in Austin, and then Thursday I go to San Antonio. So, okay. And then I finish out the Texas run that week. But those are really fun things. The Butler Pitch and Putt, what the Sklar brothers do is so great. You watch comedians go and play golf at Butler Pitch and Putt, and the Sklar brothers offer commentary. It's awesome. If you want a fun activity to really do that's not necessarily just stand up, go watch that. Bring a helmet because they're not professional golfers. So make sure you walk out of that thing alive. But yeah, some of the other stuff, the goddamn comedy jam is always a highlight. So I love the Moontower Comedy Festival. It's become the best festival in comedy. Really, I don't see any festival better. And now when you add things in like the Mothership and the comedy scene that's already strong in Austin, it's just like you could start at 2 or 3 o'clock and not be done until 4 o'clock in the morning every day. So it's going to be great. Looking forward to being there, and whether people come out and see me or just other, like, go out, see this comedy that is there in Austin that week. It's going to be a blast, man.
He is somebody who is all about the good time, all about the comedy, and a staple at Moontower Comedy Festival. Check out his work through bradwilliamscomedy.com. That includes the Starfish special. You can link to that on YouTube through his website. Watch it for free, and do check him out. Tickets can be found for that Paramount show in that upper level at austintheater.org. Brad, it is always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for the time. Safe travels to and from Austin before those shows on Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, that's the end of our third interview. So let's put on some sexy music and let's get to it, buddy.
I'm pulling out the sex robot right now.
Let's go. Thanks, man.